What follows is a true story. My name is Chad Hauer. I know the details intimately because a story happened to me and I took detailed notes. I know that this story is hard to believe, but it's all true and backed by court records, transcripts, and accredited news sources. October 13th was a day that my life changed forever. Armed Interpol agents arrested me on a red notice in my hotel in Bulgaria. It was around 7:30 a.m. I was in Bulgaria to speak at a conference and was one of the opening speakers and scheduled to speak in just over an hour. I had just received a message from my sister that my grandfather had just died. This was not turning out to be a good day. As I was just about to go to breakfast, there was a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole. There were three men and a woman wearing blue jeans and black jackets. They looked like gangsters. I opened the door but left the security chain engaged. One of them produced a police badge.
My name is Veronica. We are police. You know why we are here?
No. With my extensive travels for Microsoft throughout the Middle East, Africa, and Russia, I had been approached by foreign intelligence services several times before, but never in this manner. I had been to Bulgaria several times before and had never had any issues. It was concerning that there were four of them, and they were visibly armed. I was standing there in my underwear with four Bulgarian Interpol agents staring at me.
Bring your passport, and please also some pants.
I dressed quickly and grabbed my U.S. passport in my security pocket. They escorted me out of the hotel as other speakers and conference attendees were gathering in the lobby. Everyone saw me being escorted out of the hotel by armed people. They put me in the back of an unmarked black police car. I was put in the center and surrounded by police officers. As we left, I noticed there was a second unmarked police car that was waiting in the parking lot and was now following our car. They weren't taking any chances.
These men are from Interpol. I'm a police officer, but not Interpol. I'm here to translate. At the police station, we will show you documents.
We arrived at the police station, and everyone entered an empty office.
You are being arrested on an Interpol Red Notice for kidnapping.
This was when I realized this was not the usual lies of Vecna, my ex-wife, but something much more serious. Smoke quickly filled the room. I was trapped. Because 90 seconds had passed, and it was Bulgaria. All the men lit up cigarettes for fear of their nicotine levels dropping to critical levels. They cracked the window open a tiny bit, but it was cold outside. They wanted to strike that delicate balance between suffocation and warmth. I knew asking them to open it more would be like asking them to bring me some caviar. I'm very sensitive to cigarette smoke though, so I asked anyways. Could you open the window a little bit more? The smoke is really bothering me. One man responded in a half grunt, half laugh, and a stare. He looked as if I'd asked him to donate his kidney. No translation was necessary. Bulgarian, being similar to Russian, allowed me to understand much of what was said. I never let on that I understood many of their conversations, even the parts that Veronica did not translate. None of the men spoke English. The interrogation began and Veronica translated back and forth.
Where's your son?
He's at home with his brother and sister.
Where is home?
You just accused me of kidnapping. I don't have a lawyer and I'm in a foreign country. We aren't on a first date. You've detained me.
Give us your money and passport. Empty your pockets, including your hidden pocket, onto the desk.
I pulled out my hotel key, U.S. passport, credit cards, and money. There were euros, Swiss francs, Eastern Caribbean dollars, and several thousand U.S. dollars. At the time, the monthly pay of a Bulgarian police officer was well under $1,000. The money immediately made their eyes pop.
Why do you have so much money? Who carries this much money on them?
I travel all throughout the Middle East and Africa, and I always carry emergency cash. I've been in countries when civil unrest or boom booms have occurred before, including hotels I've stayed in.
That's a lot of emergency money.
In an emergency, that's not a lot.
Why do you have Swiss francs? Do you have Swiss bank accounts?
You could see their excitement. They really thought they had a super spy now, but the answer was simple. After Bulgaria, I'm headed to France, the Netherlands, and Switzerland to speak at more conferences. Before every trip, I always bring local money with me.
This money looks fake.
It's not fake. It's Caribbean money. And even if it was fake, it's not a crime unless I've used it somewhere. This seemed to deflate their excitement quickly. They were sure they had a counterfeiter as well as a spy. They still weren't convinced.
It looks like play money from a game.
They took all my stuff and put it into a clear plastic sleeve and put it into a safe.
Do you want us to call the American embassy for you?
No, thank you. They're the reason I'm in this mess. They aren't going to help me.
We need your right statement. We will send to America and we will wait for them to say what to do with you. We only take information now.
If you only take information now, why'd you take my stuff from me? They gave me pen and paper.
Please write a statement, and we will send it to the Americans.
I wrote several pages. Several hours passed and one of the men returned.
Americans send no response yet. It is night in America.
Are we waiting for someone to come into work in the morning on American time?
No, they work all time. We need office to work. Move to hall and wait.
I moved to the hallway. I had no watch. I had no idea the time, but after several more hours, Veronica returned.
The U.S. Embassy is here to see you.
When you asked me, I told you not to call them. They are not here to help me. I don't want to see them.
Please just go talk to embassy people.
She led me a few doors down the hall to a different office. It was a police chief's office. He had a large desk buried under piles of papers. In front of his desk was a cushioned chair and a couch. Standing behind the desk was an older man.
Welcome. I am police chief. Speak little English.
He seemed a bit nervous, or at least a bit on edge. Maybe hadn't had a cigarette in the last few minutes. He was friendly, though. He offered his hand, and I shook it. He motioned for me to sit on the couch. There was a balding man with short-cut hair and was sitting in the chair. He handed me his business card, which identified him as a regional security officer. He had a folder about an inch thick and my U.S. passport.
I'm Mr. Woody, and I'm from the embassy.
I eyed Woody warily. His name made me envision him with a cowboy hat and a pull string on his back. It put a smile on my face, which was apparently disturbing to him. That was fine with me. Let him be uneasy.
Will you waive your right to a lawyer and speak with me directly?
I'm not going to waive any rights, but I'll speak with you on limited topics. Without saying a word, the police chief stood up and left the room. I was suspicious of Woody. So far he'd been polite. He clearly didn't like my answer, though, and I saw a noticeable change in his facial expression. Jekyll turned into Hyde. I think I even saw his head spin around, but I can't be sure. I was still acclimating to the low levels of oxygen in the police chief's office from all the cigarette smoke.
You're charged with kidnapping, and you're going to prison for a long time. I do cases like this all the time. They're going to extradite you. It's a slam dunk, and you're going to a nasty prison.
I didn't visibly react. This puzzled Woody and made him pause for a while. He tried changing tack again.
Look, I'm just here to chat. I'm divorced too, and my ex is a bitch. I'm not here to take sides.
Woody reversed his demeanor again quickly. It was like being interrogated by a puppy with ADHD who just ate a bag of sugar.
Where is the child?
I'm not willing to discuss that without a lawyer. This is where Woody started to lose it. He would ask me where the child was, and then ask me another unrelated question. Then he would repeat this, and did so probably a dozen times.
Where is the child? Where is the child? Where is the child?
Woody was clearly trained in an interrogation, but he utterly sucked at it. He thought if he just kept asking the same question over and over, I might somehow decide to answer without a lawyer being present. Woody wasn't able to intimidate me as he expected, and was clearly becoming flustered. He now tried a 20 questions approach.
Is the child in Bulgaria?
No. I decided to play with this puppy and have some fun.
Is the child with your parents in Tennessee?
No. I suspected that Woody was a toilet paper tiger, and now I knew for sure. My father was deceased and my parents never lived in Tennessee. Woody was clueless and barely knew anything. I did not let on that I knew he was full of it. I was going to have some more fun.
Where is the child?
Look, if you're just going to ask me the same question over and over, let's just call it quits. It's hard to describe what Woody did next, at least when talking about an adult man from the U.S. Embassy. He threw a hissy fit. When Woody finished his hissy fit and his voice became masculine again, he picked up my passport and showed it to me dramatically.
This is your passport.
After I paused, and very aloofly I said, "It appears that it is." His facial expression made it clear that it was not the response he was expecting.
You're not getting your passport back. We are keeping it. Without it, you cannot travel and you'll have to go back to the U.S.
I paused again just to irritate him. I thought you said I was going to be extradited.
Yeah, well.
Woody seemed stumped and was struggling to figure out where to go next. This has been a preview. I post daily episodes on all major social media platforms. They are linked from alexisnotmissing.com.